Hello, everybody. Here we go for the first impression BJJ episode. First, I would like to ask you guys a huge favor. If you can like and subscribe the channel, that would be great. This way, we can keep the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu content up, and by that, motivate more people to train Jiu-Jitsu. Today, as guests, we're gonna have Alex Perez, a friend of mine, father of two younger beautiful girls, and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt, who has been training for a while and has done a couple other martial arts. Me and Alex had a great conversation, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you and enjoy the podcast.
Okay, hi Kevin. First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's fun to be here. Yeah, it has been a crazy year with the COVID, but it's nice to. Well, it's one of the things with Jiu-Jitsu, right? You keep in touch with some people that you met at the gym, which is nice. Yeah,
for sure. Like it's been a kind of crazy year for everyone, right? Everyone's just like going around doing stuff that they haven't done for a while. They get the time to do it now. People are kind of upset because they lost like all the day to day and like things that they used to do, and now they're kind of crazy. It's been a crazy year, and like you said, now we're trying to keep like the type of communication with the friends that we haven't seen for a while. Like I haven't seen you for I think more than a year, right?
yeah, exactly. And before COVID, like I will go to the gym 4 times, 5 times a week, and I will see like everybody 5 times a week.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's different now. But yeah, and in terms of exercise, now I'm actually go to a good routine. But at the beginning, like last year when everything stops, like I'm like, oh man, I have to exercise, but I couldn't exercise at home. It was so difficult. Like I will try to do stuff, but I will never break a sweat.
In the beginning,
like 3 months. 3 months to actually start to get like sweating and get tired from the exercise.
I get it. It's like it's just like a new way of exercising that a lot of people wasn't like used to it, right? Even myself, man, when the beginning that I had to teach like, and I actually taught, I think I would say 2 to 3 months of online classes. I had like 9 puzzle mats at the living room. I put the computer there, start to talk to a few students, but then it's like you said, it's kind of weird, right? It takes a while to get used it, and you have to be motivated. And sometimes like myself, I was teaching in the beginning, was like very motivating because people are like very supportive, but even people at home, they would get tired, right? To train with the dummies or not having people to train, right?
Yeah, also it's difficult to teach jiu-jitsu because you normally will have a partner and you will teach what to do with the partner, right? When I was teaching the online classes, I focused mostly just in strength and conditioning.
Okay.
Like for the kids, because I thought they will be at home. Maybe they don't have a lot of space. Maybe they don't have a partner or a dummy. So I will just focus like on some exercises that are good for jiu-jitsu and in general, stretching and breathing. Yeah.
I was doing 3 classes a week. So I was doing 2 of like jiu-jitsu like techniques and one of movements, like a type of gymnastica class. So that was pretty good. I believe I always had more people on that one actually, because it was just like no needed of a partner, right? And they can do it. And it was good, it was good. Just waiting for better days now to come, because it just keep going the same way, right?
Yeah. But anyways, congratulations on your black belt.
Thank you very much. By the way, my black belt is missing here because I brought to the gym and I.
Oh, you forgot.
But thank you very much. I appreciate, man. It was you know me for a long time, so since blue belt, I believe, and how it is to get there, and I got there. I'm sure you're gonna get there too. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about the beginning, man. I want to hear about your beginning. How was your first class? Training.
Okay, so my way into jiu-jitsu was interesting, right? When I was a kid, I used to do judo.
Okay.
I did judo for a few years, and I was the smallest kid in the class. First of all, I was the youngest kid. And second, like when I was a kid, I was very small. Like all of a sudden I grew, but I was very small for like
A
until
good
like I
time.
was 13 or something. So I will go to class and I will have somebody like, let's say, in side control,
Okay.
and the other kids will just like grab the belt and lift me. You know, like I was that small. I was like half the size.
Little and light.
Yeah, but I will go and I will like do my best and do my best. And sometimes when you are smaller, you have to focus on technique,
Good
right?
point. Good
I
point.
really enjoyed the class, but this is like long time ago, right? And then I don't remember why, like I stopped doing that, and then I was doing like swimming or other sports. Then I moved. This is back in Mexico, right? And then when I moved to Canada, I started doing capoeira,
Okay.
and I did capoeira for probably 8 years.
Yes, I remember that. I remember we talked about it.
Yeah, and then I'm like, my teacher was moving to India, and then I'm like, okay, she's moving, so maybe I should find something else to do. And I try different things. I try Krav Maga, mixed martial arts. I try judo. Like I went to different classes. I wanted to do martial arts, but I didn't know which one. I did the Bruce Lee one. I don't remember how it is called.
Even Bruce Lee ones, I don't know either, man.
Yeah, and then I tried also jiu-jitsu, and I even tried different gyms. I tried like 5 or 6 different gyms
For jiu-jitsu.
for jiu-jitsu.
Awesome.
And actually, I like other gyms. I like too,
Uh-huh.
but I like Toronto BJJ the best.
Yeah.
You know, when I entered that place, it was like, okay, this looks good.
This was I like it. Yeah.
And back then, they
When
didn't
what
have.
year was that? What year was that?
This is 8 years ago.
8 years.
This is
2013.
2012, I think,
2012,
or
2013.
2013, maybe. Yeah, 2013.
So okay, so we probably started at the same time though, because I started like end of 2012. Yes, like beginning of 2013. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. I think when I joined, you were blue belt.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah. But you remember back then there was no special class. It was like, okay, welcome to the gym, like do the exercise. And I was like, I think my first class, we were doing like some like berimbolo or something, you know? I'm like, what is this? And then it was very funny because George was super nice, right? Like he's like, hey, how are you? Like, welcome to the class, this. And then he teach the class. And then at the end of the class, there was rolling. And I have no idea. Like they say, okay, now let's roll. Like, okay, you know, what do they mean? And then I sit down because I didn't know what was it. And George sees me and he's like, hey, like, what are you sitting down? I'm like, oh, because I don't know what to do. I don't have a partner. And he calls Nacho. And then I see Nacho. He was a brown belt back then, right? And he's like very muscular, and then like, he's all muscle, right?
Exactly.
And he was a brown belt.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, like what's going to happen, right? But you know what? The role was super fun.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure. Nacho knew
Was
what to
super
do,
fun.
right?
Yeah, it was so much fun. And then I actually liked it a lot. Like the people were like super nice.
Yeah.
I was thinking to do jiu-jitsu only for 1 year. I was thinking maybe every year I will try another thing
Oh, okay.
to keep on learning, but then jiu-jitsu is like you never end learning, right? Like
Never
every day you learn something else. Yeah.
Keep on going every time, right?
Yeah. I remember like also the other day, like after one competition, I saw this guy. What's his name? He's a black belt from before us. He's an artist.
From where?
Well, I'll tell you in a sec. But this guy, he was a black
Robert.
belt.
Robert.
Eh?
Robert.
Robert, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bentley, Robert Bentley, yeah. And he was the one who was at the office, like a
Long time ago. Yeah.
yeah, third class. Like he's like, oh, I'm going to like tell you about the plans and the classes and everything, right? And I remember we had like a little chat about ideas because he's always about ideas and he
Yeah.
reads a lot. And then we have a very but like 10 minutes chat. And then we went to a competition like 3 years ago in Ryerson, and then we went. A bunch of people went for a beer after, and I was talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, I remember you. Like, I
Oh my
give you
God.
the
Yeah.
introduction." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's true."
That's funny.
Yeah.
You know,
It is. It is.
it's good memories, right? Like because we've been there for so long, we met so many people,
Yeah, I know.
throughout these all years and train and went traveling. We went to Montreal, IBJJF Montreal was like a very great time at that year, I think it was 2015,
I think so. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Back then it was fun because I think we will travel like a bit like a group,
Yes.
right? I think now the gym grew a lot, like all of the sudden, but I think back then it was more like a small like group, always going to different places. And
Yeah. We had I believe before the classes get like too packed. But one thing I think, like sometimes life hit us in different ways, right? And parts, so some of us had to kind of take a break and do stuff, and some of the guys, like they had to grow and start to work and stuff, right? Like me, we're working and doing a lot of stuff, but we're still going to the trips, right? And well, like Montreal was just one that was like really fun, and we had a bunch of like a very nice time. But yeah, like I miss those times too, where we used to get together and go for tournaments, or go do whatever, because after tournament was like sushi, go to a bar, watch a UFC.
yeah,
It was great. It was pretty good, man.
yeah.
I like those times. I can't wait to get back to it after COVID,
Yeah, even the tournaments here, like I remember you helped organize the first next generation, right?
Yeah.
In a school like close to St. Clair.
St. Clair and Dufferin.
Yeah,
I don't St. Clair and Dufferin. I forgot that school name. That was like in 2015.
2015, yeah. And I volunteered to I was keeping scores
Yes.
with Juan. When Juan I was in my table.
Yeah.
And it was just fun. We spent the whole day, like I was keeping a score. He was the referee.
Exactly.
I think Sabrina was there also.
Yeah,
She
there
was
was
like,
many people. Tiago was there.
yeah. But you are on your table with your people, and then you spend the whole day with them, and somehow
Fun.
it's fun. Yeah.
Exactly. Like this is all about it. Like, to be honest, what I want to show people, and so people can get engaged with jiu-jitsu, is just like, it's not only like you have to go train and be tough, or you have to train to be the best. Like, we can train and not compete, right? We can train and make friends, and we have these type of things like together, like trips and go for tournaments, right? And work together. And it's like a totally different world when you engage with the community and you just be around, right? And keep not saying that you have to stop all the sport or anything that you do, but it's a great community to be around, and it's not as scary as it looks when you see, like, when you told George that you're like, oh, I don't have a partner, I don't know what to do in a row. Like, can you explain what was going on your mind that day?
When my first class,
Yes.
I was like, I have no idea what to do because a lot of people were advanced. I used to go to the noon class upstairs. So I think there was like 1 or 2 white belts, and everybody else was advanced.
Yeah.
And I remember a couple
mixed class, right? He always was a mixed class.
yeah. And I remember like my first week or my first 2 weeks, like everything was like it was so different than every other experience I had in my life. You know, first one, like going to a class and doing this, George was teaching this complicated move, the berimbolo is, you know, a lot of people, it's very difficult to get, right?
For
And
sure.
actually, I couldn't get it. Like I would just fall into my side. But then I rode with Nacho, that also like you think, oh, it's like a higher belt, and he's this guy who's very like strong. But then he was like super nice. Actually, I
Scary
feel,
look, but actually very nice guy, right?
yeah. And then after a few times, like when you roll, when I was a white belt and I will roll with higher belts, like with brown belts or with purple belts, I will actually feel more safe
No,
than rolling with a blue belt or with a white belt, because they know every move they can do. They don't have to put you in danger. They have so much control,
exactly, exactly.
right? So that one, I for me was also very interesting to see. Like the more advanced the person, the safer.
The safer they control you, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, they know where to place and where to move, and I understand. I get what you mean. And
Yeah.
so that was one of your first thoughts, like in the beginning, like you understood this, like right away.
Yes. And the other thing I like also is that there was this, I feel like from the higher belts, like um, this good spirit about sharing the knowledge.
Uh-huh.
I remember I was one day rolling with, I think it was, I don't remember who was it, but he was a purple belt. Back then I was a white belt. And then he was just like, I was getting like so exhausted, right? And then he
Uh-huh.
will just like sweep me and then side control and then sweep me again. And then at some moment I got so tired and I didn't know what to do. And I remember he just told me, don't give up. It's only 1 more minute left.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm like, and then I start to fight with everything I got. And at the end of the road, he's like, yeah, just keep going. Don't be afraid. Don't just come and train and train and train, and then you'll get there.
Exactly.
And all these things, like I'm like, where I haven't seen that anywhere else, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like this kind of like people want you to stay, people want you to get better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's actually true. You know, like the, I have realized after I become like an instructor. You know, like okay, I decide to start to focus that part of my journey on trying to teach people. I realize a lot of these the people they the white belts in the beginning they think they're not learning, and they're always like, oh, what do I do to get better? What do I do to get better? Right? But they find along the way many of these people, like the more experienced people, they are always like, okay, don't worry, just keep going. Don't miss class, like learn technique, keep coming to class because you're gonna improve, keep just show up. Like words like this sometimes doesn't go inside of some people's head, and they
Yeah.
think they're not evolving. They get frustrated, and they're like, oh, I want to stop. But mostly, like 100%, mostly of the time, you just gotta show up to class and don't give up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is very interesting because, you know, it's like if you go to university, like, you know, oh, yeah, I have to take this course and I have to pass it, and I have to take this other course and pass it. And then you kind of, you know, the structure, right?
Yes.
And when you complete everything, then you get your degree. And, you know, a lot of things in life, like you have to do A, B, C, D, and then you complete. But in jiu-jitsu, it's exactly like that. People just tell you, just don't worry about it. Just keep coming, and then you'll get it. And then you feel it's some sort of like, you're like, what do you mean? Like, how I'm going to get it, you know?
What do you mean?
But it's true because, you know, a lot of the moves, like they cannot be explained. You know, there is a lot of details in like how you move the hip a little bit, how you put pressure, you keep your balance,
Yes.
that, yeah, you can explain a little bit, but only experience will make you good.
We'll show you the path, right? We will
Yeah.
open up. It's like out of nowhere, you have that little click and you get the move,
Yeah.
right?
And you know what's funny? When I came to Canada from Mexico, it was really difficult in a way, right? Because I started working in an office, and um, sometimes I wouldn't know what people were talking about or the technical terms, and I didn't even know like the subway lines, right? Like how to
I
get from here
understand
to
you.
there, everything, right?
Oh yeah.
And I remember at night I was very tired. Like I will just go sleep, like my head will be like so heavy, right?
Uh-huh.
And I remember when I started jiu-jitsu, I had the same sensation. Like I started training like crazy, right? When I started jiu-jitsu, I was already going like 5 times a week. But I remember on the weekends, I will be like my head will be so tired because there is all these little adjustments you have to learn all the time, right?
Informations, right? All the time, information coming.
Because people think, yeah, it's only the fitness and this and that, but I actually think I'm actually started jiu-jitsu because I'm like, okay, I have to learn new things because I'm getting older, and then I have to keep like sharp,
Yeah, exactly.
and not only physically, right? And then that's the other part of jiu-jitsu. It's not like just a routine that you go to the gym and you get fit.
Oh no,
Your
definitely.
brain is working, right?
All the time. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I agree. I agree. Especially when you really want to put that like a game together, you want to get at some stuff that you're like, come on, man, I gotta get better. So you brain start like sometimes you watching some videos and brainstorming everything, like, oh, okay, I see that, right?
yeah,
Especially when you get some more knowledge, you can really break down like
yes,
on your own way inside here, like, oh, for yourself, right? Like for your own movements and stuff, because
yeah,
everybody's different, right? So, oh, if they can do this, I myself can do it. So how can I do it? And
yeah,
that thing's gonna be like on your brain the whole day. Ding,
yeah. Yeah.
ding.
Sometimes I watch videos and then I'm like, oh, how did they do the sweep, right? Like it was so deep. And then I put like pause and I look and
Yeah,
I one more second and pause and then I look.
exactly.
Yeah.
I well, I believe since white belt I've been doing this too, you know, like how did this happen? And nowadays, like in 2013, there was a lot of videos already, but nowadays there's a lot more instructional out there. Everybody, you know, start to put out like their own instructional and give their own details. That's what make their own like different, right? Like, okay, I make this way, I make this way, and who's the best, who's not the best.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, so you have tons of videos to be able to break down and other higher level guys like breaking it down for you so it can make more sense on your brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
better than it's better. Well, it's a lot better than us, but only ourselves can figure out the way that we're gonna be able to do it, no matter what they say.
Yeah, because that's also like what happens with jiu-jitsu, right? It has to be particular to you. There are movements that I actually just learn because if the other person is doing them, I need to know how to defend.
Okay,
But
yeah.
I know it's very unlikely I will, because for my
You will see
body or my
improvement.
skill,
Yeah.
there are movements that I'm better and there are movements I'm not good at, right?
Well, I
I
know.
try to learn all of them because sometimes you may need it, right? But yeah,
Exactly.
it
Exactly.
depends on the person, right?
Yeah, you gotta keep. Yeah, it's just about that that thing that we say. You gotta keep learning, even though you not use it or you have on your game. You say, "Oh no, I use sometimes." No, maybe you'd never use it, but
Yeah.
you gotta know how to deal with all of those stuff, right? New
Yeah.
things come up new things on jiu-jitsu come up all the time,
Yeah.
right?
You know what is funny? Sometimes when I will teach something, uh, so I will think about the class before, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, today we're going to like teach this and this and this, and I start to think about the details. And sometimes I will drill with my girlfriend before class, like what we're going to reflect the details, right? And then there is so many things you have to say but you also want to keep it simple, because if you start
Exactly.
to go on and on with details, right?
Yeah.
But I remember sometimes, like my daughter, sometimes she's like the little one. She's very active, right? And she goes and jumps, and she just like these cartwheels, and she's always moving.
Uh-huh.
And then one day I asked her, "Hey, how do you do this?" Like it was like a somersault. And she's like, "I'm going to teach you how to do it." And then we had the mats at home, and then she does it, and I, "But how do you do it?" And she's like, "Oh, you just do it."
Just throw yourself. Go,
And
go.
I'm thinking that's actually some things are like that, you just have to do it.
You just gotta throw yourself at it and see how the result will be, right?
Yeah.
No, man, like I know that like you train yourself. So when you started, nobody else, like not your kids didn't do it too. Or no, you just started yourself.
I just started myself, yeah.
And so now like I see you as a big preacher of jiu-jitsu because I know you like it. We travel together, we compete a lot, like we've been around. And by the way, you have like your two daughters, right? Training.
Hmm.
And your
Yeah.
girlfriend now that she's a blue belt.
She's a blue belt now. Yeah.
Yes, right. So I want first you tell me how you decide to introduce jiu-jitsu to your kids, to your daughters, and then to your girlfriend. Now, actually, I know about a little bit of your girlfriend because, well, I saw her like when she came,
Yeah.
but of your kids, I wasn't at the time and I can't remember. So what got you like say, you know what, I'll put my kids on it, it will be great, and why? Like, can you explain a little
It
bit?
was it's a funny story too, because I want them to do some martial arts.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, they are girls just in case they need to defend themselves and all that. But I also believe, like, if there is a self-defense, but there is also the part when I think people who do martial arts, they are calmer.
Yeah.
If there is a problem, they remain calm and they can solve it, right? They don't panic. So
They
I want,
learn they learn good they learn good behaviors, right?
yes, good behaviors, and then a lot of like discipline.
Exactly.
But then I will take them to class, and then some days they will like it, some days they didn't like it.
Uh-huh.
So every time it's like, "Hey guys, we have to go to
Gotta go.
class," and then um, it wasn't easy, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm sure.
But then I went to the World Masters in Las Vegas. I
Uh-huh.
went to compete, and I was planning my trip with my girlfriend. And then she's like, "Oh, I'll go with you and I'll cheer for you," right? And then we planned the trip. And then my daughter, the oldest one, like she was 11, I think, at the time, or 10. And then we think, "Oh, maybe we'll take her," right? So we took her to the trip, and then she was very happy because we were going to go to Los Angeles too, and she wanted to see Hollywood, all this.
Yeah, yeah.
But we were at a competition, and then I saw Leticia Rivero.
Okay.
And from is one of the person I most admire from
Okay.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh," like I told my daughter, "Sophie, come with me. Let's take a photograph of me with Leticia Rivero," right? So I go
Uh-huh.
with Leticia Rivero. I introduce myself, and she's like, "Yeah, take a photograph." Well, you know what? She didn't care about me. Like, she looks at my daughter, and she starts talking to her. And me, like, she didn't care, you know?
Not even the picture. Forget about the picture. Let me talk to
Yeah,
you.
yeah, exactly. She's like, "Yeah, what do you want to picture? Just go away. Let me talk to this girl, you know?" And then she asked her, um, "Do you do jujitsu?" And my daughter say, "No, I try, but I'm not training now." And then she is like, "What do you mean? Like, your dad does jujitsu, he's competing here in the world's masters. Like, you are wasting an opportunity."
Uh-huh.
But I have told my daughter before, like, Leticia Rivero is like 7 times world champion, right?
She
So
knew already.
yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
then my daughter is like, yeah, sure, like maybe I'll try. And then Leticia told her, no, 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 like don't don't let the opportunity go. Even if you train for 2, 3 years and then you don't do it again, it will change your life. Just do it.
Wow.
And that day, like we keep like watching the matches. And when we were going out of the competition, my daughter is like, Daddy, they have this, they were selling geese.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, Daddy, can you buy me a key? I want to train now. It was so cool. Like that day, she's like, I want to train.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That's amazing. That's a good one to hear. Oh, wow. Like get being motivated by Leticia Ribeiro, right?
I
Despite
know, right?
that's amazing. Does she remember that? Does she remember? Like, if you talk to her, she would say, "Oh, yeah, I remember that day."
I think she remembers, yeah, a little bit, yeah. And I think she remembers that she, at the end of the day, she is the one who asked for to buy a gi to
Exactly,
start training.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. That's amazing. Wow, that's pretty good. Okay, so
yeah,
one is down. So,
yeah.
how was with the younger one?
With the younger one, she actually liked jiu-jitsu when
Oh,
she started, but she wanted to train with her sister, right? So when the older one got into jiu-jitsu, they were like all into it. And then we were training at Toronto BJJ. But then Becky and Rob, they opened the Capstone Jiu-Jitsu
uh-huh. What
and
at the church, right?
at the church, yeah.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
I didn't know Rob very well, but I knew Becky. And I'm like, oh, maybe we should try there, right? Because there is a lot of kids, and it was closer to my house too, and
Uh-huh.
the timing was better too.
Okay.
So we tried, and the job they have done is amazing. You know, this yeah, Becky and Rob, and there is another coach, Joao. Um,
That's nice. That's amazing. That's
Very
good.
amazing. Like the and also like the kids, they're so cool over there. Like
Uh-huh.
they're like all friends and they're always helping. And also like, there is always food sometimes because it's like a church
No,
too.
yeah, I get it. I get it. So your younger one, she was already liking jujitsu because you used to do it, something like that.
Because she was smaller, she was like 6 or something.
Uh-huh.
And then we will play fights and she would like me, like I will throw her, like, like a sacrificial throw.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
will throw her out, like, and she will enjoy those things, right?
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, for sure. It would be like, oh, I want to do it and just get
Yeah.
excited about it, right?
And they have done a few competitions too, right? Because sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, I'm going to compete on Saturday in like a month, like maybe you should come with me. And you know how I got them with the acai. And I said, it's going to be acai.
Oh, how did you get them with the acai, Alex?
Well, sometimes there is no acai and they were disappointed. But I remember a couple of times like Mike and Nathan were there with the acai.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. That's funny, man. Yeah, but it's good, like I said, it's great. You have like you and your daughters and your girlfriend. So how was convincing your girlfriend to train jiu-jitsu? I think she already trained some martial art, right?
She's a black belt in Taekwondo.
Exactly. See, I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah.
Yes, yes. So how was she like? No, I don't want to do it. So did she say no? Yes, like at first, how was it?
I think she was like, I think she will see me like, I'm like, hey, like I'll be back like in 3, 4 hours. I'll go train, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was always so excited, and I will come back and I'm like, oh my god, it was so good. And I think she started to be like, what is this jiu-jitsu? It looks so good.
Okay.
And then she went with me to a couple of competitions, and she really liked the environment.
Wow.
Even when you arrive and you are parking and you see
Yeah.
everybody getting with their bags, and
Everybody going to the show. Yeah, yeah.
sometimes people from other gyms, right? Because you have been
Exactly.
around and they're like, hey, how's
Exactly.
it going? And I think she started to be like, oh, it may be nice to try. And then she tried and then she liked it.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, Ben. Because, like I said, I remember seeing her around sometimes in some tournaments. I remember that, and then
Yeah.
somehow she's training, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, she competed a couple of times. Yeah. Now she wants to go to the World Masters too.
There you go. Man, that would be amazing. Like, and then I saw her getting blue belt. And I was
Yes.
like, what, Alex? Alex has done a great job, man. Like, like somehow maybe you didn't push her, but it was watching you that she, got excited and said, let me try it. And you, in any way or other, you inspired her to try it, and she stick around with it, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, I think everybody is like, I mean, there are many things that can be good for you, right? Like some people do yoga or some people do other things.
yeah,
But I say, well, for me, jiu-jitsu worked very well. And you don't lose anything by trying. You try if you don't like it, because I have friends who have tried. Like I am like, hey, let's try, and some people don't like it. They're like, oh my god,
yeah.
like all the sweat, people on top of you, they don't like, right? But I told them, you know what? When you do jujitsu, by instance, like you don't have to be like the diet, like eating well. Um, you learn right away. If you don't eat well and then you go train, you are going to feel bad.
You're
Your
gonna,
body will tell you,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
If
you're
you
right.
don't drink water and you go train, you'll feel bad. If you
Exactly,
don't sleep well and you
exactly,
go train, so automatically makes your body learn that you have to take care of you.
exactly. Definitely, I agree
And
with this.
jiu-jitsu, I think it makes automatic. That's the jiu-jitsu lifestyle. Automatically makes you take care of yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you go train, if you didn't take care of yourself, you're going to feel bad when you are training.
And you don't want to feel bad when you're
Yeah,
training, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. I kind of have a few students that I always ask and get me tips for the, like, what diet should I do and stuff. I say, man, your body gonna, for sure, your body gonna understand what you need to do to get better on it. Because if you're not eating well, you're gonna see your performance. If you're not drinking water, if you're not, feeding the machine,
Yeah.
you got to feed the machine properly so you can get the best performance, and exactly jiu-jitsu teach that to a lot of people, and people that decide to take this lifestyle and proceed with it, it's gonna change their life for,
Yeah.
for forever. 100%, man. So you got like your two daughters, your girlfriend, and I see before COVID, you and your girlfriend, like they had this project like with KASA, right? KASA.
KASA Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah.
Exactly. Can you, how was it, like how was it going?
Well, it was going well. Like we started 1 year before COVID, and I didn't know how it was going to work, but I was trusting it was going to work. I was coaching other sports. I coach a lot of kids on soccer.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
I was a volunteer director for the league. I have 700 kids on that place.
Wow.
Um, so I
Every
think I
summer,
organized that
right?
for 3 years. Sorry.
Every summer you do that, right?
Yes, I did that for 3 years, and then I'm like, okay, I think I can. I'm good at coaching, I think, and
Uh,
I can organize, right? So and then I thought jiu-jitsu is good, like it's like when you see something that was good for you and for other many people, you think, okay, maybe you can try. If you don't like it, you don't have to stay.
exactly. Easy.
And then I think most of the kids who came to try the lessons, they stay.
Wow.
And we have all we I only open for kids,
Uh-huh.
and then we have all sort of kids. You have the shy ones who are like, oh, I don't know, like you have the hyper ones who are just running everywhere.
Never stops.
Yeah, but it was amazing because we had a couple of kids who were like very hyper,
Yeah.
and then I thought, oh, I don't know, it's going to be a bit difficult because they will be distracting or whatever. But after a few classes, they start to get into like, and one of them actually at the end of the class, I always sit them and do like breathing, like 1 minute of breathing. And this guy who was the more hyper and who wouldn't listen at the beginning, he was the one who will stay like the whole minute without moving, breathing. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. This.
Oh yeah, their parents must be like really happy because it's impact a lot on their life at home, right? Like
They told me they never seen him like this. They're like, what happened?
it's no, it's pretty good to know that you're doing good. I always was watching and seeing by social media. My last year in Toronto before COVID was kind of hard because the training and work was like kind of getting the way, with work, and I was coming to Cambridge to teach, and then I decided to move in here. But I was looking and watching the work that you're doing, and man, I'm happy because it's just to see like you have your own work, you have your own stuff, you coach and you're doing some stuff, but you decide to change this and put jiu-jitsu out there. Man, jiu-jitsu just completely change your way like of life because you've been doing different stuff. Like you said, I did other martial arts. I did capoeira, and then I tried many other martial arts until I get stuck with jiu-jitsu. And you've been at 5 places, and then you stuck at Toronto BJJ 5 days a week, every single day. And I'm seeing this, and then you decide to get this project going with your girlfriend. And I was watching, and even in the beginning of coronavirus, you guys kept doing a lot of online classes, right?
Yeah, we were doing because I think for the kids was very sudden the change, right? From, well, like for everyone, but from one day to another, no school, no active, nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I told my girlfriend we should like at least do once a week.
Yes.
At least the kids can have something like continuity for a bit. And I think also for me it helped me too.
Mentally, right?
I was looking forward to do the online class, like yeah, and
I understand. Like the beginning was everyone was like, oh, we gotta do something, and then maybe people did at the beginning, but then some people wasn't doing it, and then they said, no, now I gotta do something for myself. And you tried once a week. How long did you do that?
The online class, I think I did for like 3 months or something.
Wow. Yeah. I did like I would say I did for 2 months, almost 3 months. And some point, like we had a lot of people excited, and then people just like you start to lose motivation, like a lot of people did.
And when they start to reopen, like for some activities, I thought maybe I'm going to teach in the park, like outside, some like conditioning, but then they close again, and then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just wait.
Exactly. And we're still waiting, right? We still again in a lockdown, and we don't know when this is gonna finish. But anyways, we're gonna hold off, we have to hold anyways. We have to be making the best that we can. We just can't quit, it's just like a long road we are having right now, a real long road, and we just can't quit. We gotta keep going, put our best, and hold it off until this time, like this hard time stop, and we can just be back teaching and having like a regular life, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like what I told you, right? When I started jiu-jitsu, I was rolling with this purple belt. And at some point, I didn't know what to do. I was very tired. And I remember the only thing he told me is like, don't give up.
Exactly.
And I think we are in that same situation now. It's just don't give up, keep going. Like
exactly, vaccination's on the way. We just gotta wait these things get, in everybody's and yeah, man, like Alex, I really appreciate, the time you took to come and talk to me and make another episode for my podcast, man. This is something that I'm really excited about it. I'm doing the best I can. I'm getting people from everywhere to talk to me, and it is a pleasure to have you here, man. Like we've been friends for a long time, and finally we got this opportunity. I hope
thank you for inviting me, and actually also thank you for doing the podcast. Like it's really cool that you have doing like 24 or 20 episodes.
26 episodes, it is, man.
That's a lot of work.
I know, every week one, and it's going like I sometimes I I bought a computer only to do it. You know, I like it. I like talking to people, and I bought a computer to do it. And I bought some equipment. And sometimes you know, I do drywall. And sometimes on the construction, I remember, oh, it's time to post something. I have to do this and wash my hands, go get a computer, make it happen, and then go back work. And anywhere that I am, I stop to do it, to schedule some new interviews and stuff. And it's been rolling, man. I like it, you know. So
No, that's very good.
I like it too.
It's good also, like, for, like, as you say, right, to promote something that is good.
Exactly. And anytime you want to talk, as soon COVID is finished, and you want to talk about KASA BJJ, how is it?
KASA Jiu-Jitsu.
KASA Jiu-Jitsu, and you want to promote something, let's go get back here, talk about it, you know, and
I cannot wait for this thing to finish and then go compete and take the kids, you know, like I'm like, once we can train, I'm going to train like I think in jiu-jitsu you can train everyone, like people who do once a week, people who are competitive, but I'm going to take a group to a competition, you know.
There you go. There you go. Good to hear, Alex. Exactly. That's good. It's good you're still motivated, and keep this up. Keep your kids motivated. Keep your girlfriend and everyone around you, man. A pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much, man. Have a good night.
Take care, Calvinio.
Take care. Thank you.